Watching eyes, listening ears, a hearty greeting from Sharik Mahmood Khan. I'm Sharik Mahmood Khan, and every night except Sunday, I'll guide you through a winding valley of stories. Sometimes we lose ourselves in the enchanting magic of folk tales. Other times we find ourselves face to face with reality's most startling scenes, crafting a narrative that stirs the soul. And tonight's tale is... Introduction. This is a love story that fought against time, thrones and destiny. This is the tale of two lovers from Europe who hid their love but never denied it. A love that was concealed in royal palaces and wounded by the swords of fate. This is the story of Tristan and Isolde. Part 1, the King's Mission, the Lover's Beginning. King Mark of Cornwall wanted to marry the beautiful Irish princess Isolde for the sake of his kingdom. His brave and loyal nephew, Tristan, was chosen for this important mission. Tristan, a fearless warrior and poet at heart, defeated the enemies and reached Ireland. When his eyes fell upon Isolde, everything changed. When Isolde saw Tristan, a wave stirred in her heart, but they both knew their mission was for the king's wedding, not for their love. On their return journey, a magical event occurred. Isolde's maidservant gave them a magical love potion that was meant for the king and queen. After drinking it, Tristan and Isolde became hopelessly in love with each other. Now, they weren't living for the king anymore, they were breathing only for each other. But she was the king's treasure, and he was the king's loyal servant. This inner turmoil, this sacrifice, this hidden love was the beginning of a tragedy. If you felt the first touch of this love, make sure to like, because the story is about to unfold much further. Part 2, Marriage, Silence and Hidden Emotions. Isolde married King Mark upon her arrival in Cornwall, but her heart had only room for Tristan. The walls of the palace became silent witnesses to their sorrow. They would avoid each other's gaze, but in their hearts, storms raged. At night, when everyone else was asleep, Tristan and Isolde secretly met. They spoke no words, made no promises, only exchanged glances that shared their love's burden. One day, the king grew suspicious. Secretly, they were being watched in the palace. They were never caught, but the distance between them grew. Tristan began to feel guilty. He was the king's nephew, his protector. Yet now he was living with the image of the king's wife in his heart. He decided to leave Cornwall. Isolde remained silent, but her tears, her sobs, were a silent witness to their lost love every night. If you felt this pain, comment and say, when will this love end? Because love may go silent, but it never dies. Part 3, Exile, Separation and Prayer. Tristan settled in another kingdom where he bravely defeated enemies and married a princess, but it was only in name. In his heart, there was only Isolde. Meanwhile, Isolde was living a life of imprisonment in Cornwall. Her husband had placed guards over her. Behind the royal veil, a woman called out Tristan's name every night in solitude. Tristan would sit by the sea every day asking the moon about her well-being, while Isolde, gazing at the sky from her window, prayed for his safety. Years passed, and one day Tristan was struck with a poisoned dagger. Lying on his deathbed, Tristan told his friend, "If Isolde comes, the sails must be white, if not they must be black." The friend set off. If this trial of love touched you, share it, so that everyone knows true love never grows old. Part 4. Lies, Silence and the Final Breath. When Isolde heard the news, she left everything behind and set off. Her friend raised white sails on the ship as per Tristan's promise. But tragically, his new wife lied. The sails are black. Tristan let out a sigh, muttered a few words and breathed his last. A few moments later, Isolde arrived. Seeing Tristan dead, she collapsed beside him, and in his arms she too took her last breath. If this moment tore your heart apart, subscribe now, because true loves live on, even in death. Rebirth. Between the graves, Tristan and Isolde were buried together. It is said that two plants grew from their graves, intertwining with each other as they grew. People tried to cut the plants, but they always regrew. A love that the world could not accept, the earth respected. Centuries later, the names of Tristan and Isolde echo in European churches, poetry and tales. Tristan and Isolde are loved even in death, remained together forever. If you want such timeless stories to keep reaching you, make sure to click on the bell icon because the sound of love echoes through the veil of time.
And so, dear listeners, the dreadful tale draws to a close. The shadows of fear have crept away, the old walls have hushed their murmurs, and the mournful cries that once haunted our ears are now wrapped in silence. But beware. Terror lurks still, waiting to whisper from behind every bend in the path. So steel your hearts and tread with courage, for the night is never far behind.